Hello? Yeah, I'll be right there. Hi, welcome to the Jersey Girl Podcast. How are you today?
Good. How are you? Thanks
I'm
for having
good.
me.
Thank you for having us and bringing us this beautiful restaurant. I've never
Of
been over
course.
here.
Yeah, so we're in Supa's in Denville. It's one of
Mhm.
my favorite local spots. They're one of my partners, but beyond that, they just have the best food. And I come here for networking events, and they're just the sweetest people.
Mhm.
So I really enjoy it, and I wanted to be in a place that I'm familiar with. So.
Yeah, and it's nice to get out get out of the house and just get out of like the normal space.
Oh,
It's different
absolutely.
and it's fun.
Yeah, it's great to
So
be here.
I know I can't wait to get into everything because even just talking to you before we even start recording, I feel like I've learned a lot and there's just a lot of information you can give everyone and just advice and just telling your story. But first off, can you just give us a little surface level background about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Alessandra. I am the owner and publisher of Denville City Lifestyle magazine. It's a hyper-local luxury magazine that comes out every single month. We ship to thousands of homes in the area and also hundreds of businesses. And, well, what about me? I've lived in Jersey my whole life. I went to Emerson College for journalism and I
Mhm.
kind of bounced around. I was in entertainment journalism for a little bit, but, it was a little tough. So I decided to make a little career pivot. I even tried corporate sales.
Mhm.
Not for me. I give a lot of credit to people who are into that and succeed. It just wasn't for me. And then I found this, and this is what I've been up to since last fall. So, yeah, I love to travel,
Mhm.
love Jersey, would never leave. So I'm happy to be on this podcast in
Yeah.
particular because I could talk about Jersey for hours. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Where'd you go to college?
Emerson,
And what did you study? Or what did you study?
journalism.
Okay, so what made you transition from working all those corporate jobs to be like, I want to use my journalism degree and start something myself?
Yeah, so I graduated during the pandemic.
Okay.
And so that was really tough. We didn't even have like a legit graduation
Yeah.
ceremony or anything like that. I was interning in LA for my last semester. I was out in
Mhm.
LA with a friend. We had made our own luck because we
Mhm.
were supposed to be remote. And our last semester was going to be in LA, and they told
Yeah.
us they were shutting it all down. So we were like, hey, let's get an Airbnb, let's get an apartment, and just go out and do our internship from there and
Yeah.
explore the city. So we went out there, made some connections, and I ended up just kind of bouncing around different entertainment gigs. So I wrote a lot for like online platforms about celebrity news. Really loved it, but it was tough because they were laying a lot of people
Yeah.
off. No one had money during that time. There wasn't a ton of celebrity news because
Mhm.
everyone was locked inside. So I kind of bounced around for a while and then decided, let me find something more stable. So
Yeah.
I tried corporate sales for about a year. Absolutely hated it. I
Mhm.
just hate the corporate environment. I'm a creative at heart,
Mhm.
so it was really tough to go from like being on your own schedule and traveling, doing your own thing to having PTO and being in a cubicle. That was a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me pivot. What can I do? And I love writing. It's my passion and photography and just talking to people.
Mhm.
So I was writing for Wayne Lifestyle, which is our sister magazine, for
Okay.
about a year and a half. And I loved it. And that's what I looked forward to while I was in corporate sales. And then I figured, why not start my own
Yeah.
and have full creative control?
Mhm.
And I decided to take the leap in August of 2024. And now it's almost May, or maybe May when this comes out, of 2025. So it's gone really quick. But that's why I
Mhm.
decided to do it. And it's been really fun ever since. And just being able to have creative control has been awesome.
Did you take a lot of advice you learned from your other job working for the other magazine and bring it into what you're doing now?
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed working with a lot of the business owners
Yeah.
and learning their stories and kind of what angles they wanted to take,
Mhm.
things like that. But I was writing mostly, and
Yeah.
so that was good. But this is a whole different game because it's, managing partners, covers, just a lot more going into
Mhm.
it. So that definitely helped. But I don't really write for this magazine. I have a writer, and we're looking to even get more writers.
Mhm.
So it's been good to have that help. But yeah, definitely learned more about business owners and
Mhm.
what they like and what they're trying to do. So I always take something, even from corporate sales, I learned a lot and it was very helpful. I don't regret doing it at all, but it just wasn't for me. So,
Yeah. When you were like, and you sat down, you're like, I'm going to start this. What were the like starting steps to getting this off the ground to where it is now?
yeah. So when I decided to start, I went out for a corporate training in Kansas City,
Mhm.
Missouri. And that was pretty cool. It was in September. And so I went out there. I got trained by our corporate team because City Lifestyle is a franchise and we have 200 publications across the
Okay.
country. So, they have to train all of us and make sure we know what we're doing. And I had to start going out and pitching the idea to business owners, which isn't exactly the easiest thing when you don't have a
Yeah.
tangible, up and running business to show people. So I really, really respect and admire our founding partners who saw the vision and really believed in me. And they were like, let's do it. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's partner together. And now we have something that's fantastic that everyone in the community really enjoys, looks forward
Mhm.
to reading. So it was tough, going out, doing about like 15, 20 meetings a week with different business owners,
Yeah.
pitching the product, pitching myself, hoping that they believed in me,
Mhm.
and yeah, just doing a ton of meetings and hoping that people were um, interested and they believed in it. So that's kind of how it came about.
What gave you the confidence? Like, what to, like, go out and, like, pitch yourself? It's a lot of work to go and, like, pitch yourself in person to these businesses. Was it just, like, fake it till you make it, or were you like, "I know, like, I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm gonna make it happen?"
No, definitely not fake it till you make it. I've been in those positions before, but definitely not with this. I've seen it work with like
Yeah.
Wayne Lifestyle and other lifestyle magazines, and we have really great stats. We get audited, and we
Mhm.
like our stats really they show themselves off, and it speaks volumes to what we do. And so it's really easy for me to go out there and pitch it. When you believe in something, it's so easy to be like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. If you
Yeah.
want to join on for the ride." But yeah, I mean, obviously, it is kind of nerve-wracking to go out in front of complete strangers and pitch a business that doesn't tangibly exist. But I think corporate sales actually did help with that. I did a lot of cold calling. I got screamed at a
Yeah.
lot. And I knew these people were going to be nice 'cause I'm going in person.
Yeah.
And, just a young woman trying to launch a business. So I would say 95% of people were super nice. And even if we didn't partner together, it was more of a budgeting thing rather
Yeah.
than like, I don't believe in this. So yeah, I mean, after a few meetings, I was like, okay, I think I could do this. And then I just kind of became like, I really want this so bad. So that gave me the motivation to keep going on the meetings, even if it was like I got 10 no's.
Yeah.
The one yes propelled me to be like, come on, like I could do this.
Mhm. I wanna put a pause on this, I wanna go back to you were telling me you had a podcast before.
Yes.
Can we talk a little about the podcast and what that was all
Sure.
about?
So when I was in college, I always wanted to start a podcast.
Yeah.
I was listening to so many podcasts and I really love them and I love talking.
Mhm.
So I feel like I could talk to people always say you could talk to a stone because
Yeah.
I'll just talk all day. And they were like, you should start a podcast. Like a few friends were like, you have such great stories. And I
Mhm.
just feel like I always get into situations that no one would believe.
Yeah.
And I end up, having to film it or figure something out so that people are like, oh, wow, that really did happen. So I was like, let's start something. And I think it was when we all got sent home, yes,
Mhm.
from the pandemic in college. I had a ton of extra time, as we all did. No idea what to do with it, and
Mhm.
figured let me kind of make an in-home studio
Yeah.
and kind of like just a little setup and see what I could do. So I started interviewing reality
Mhm.
stars who were also bored, just doing nothing. Um, musicians. It was called "That's the Tea" with Alessandra G.
Mhm. I think
Um,
I followed you at one point 'cause I
uh,
remember I think Nikki showed me your thing, and I think I follow
you
you.
probably still do.
I probably follow
Yeah,
you.
the account is still alive, but I don't post on it.
Yeah.
And I did it for a while. And it was fun. I had, some friends on and we
Mhm.
talked about college experiences and I did some music um sessions where we talked about like new music,
Mhm.
things like that. And it was fun. It was a good time, but I don't know when I stopped it honestly. I think
Yeah.
maybe about a year ago. I just got really busy with other things and it was tough to keep it up and running and I should have done a farewell episode. Maybe I'll eventually do that and be like, "Hey, for those still listening, I'm sorry I left you." But um yeah, I just like kind of lost a little bit of motivation with
Mhm.
it. Especially with podcasting, I give you a lot of credit. It's hard to
Mhm.
you put in so much and you don't really get you get the enjoyment of other people out of it, but in terms of like finance and like financially, it's tough. So I was putting a lot of time into it
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, do I want to keep doing this? And
Yeah.
back and forth, but it was fun. I had some really great guests, and
Mhm.
I always loved it. But the editing and stuff like that was tough and tedious.
Mhm. When did you're telling me you hired interns. When did you hire interns? Was it when you had the podcast, or was it like
I'm trying to remember what year that was. It may have been 2020, and if it wasn't, it
okay?
was 2021. It may have been, it was one or the other.
Mhm.
It was in the summer because I remembered I was like, a lot of students have extra time in the summer, so why not put out a posting and see what happens.
Yeah.
So I had 4 at the same time. I hope they're all doing well. I should really reach back out to them and check in. But they all went to great schools, and I remember all of their names and everything like
Mhm.
that. And yeah, they were great. And so I hired 4. I couldn't choose. I'm very indecisive. So even with the covers, I'm like, do we do this one? Do we do that one? I asked a million people and then end up usually going with what I said the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hired 4. It was fun. We had a good time in the summer. We did like little Zoom meetings, things like that. So they helped out a ton with like social media content,
Mhm.
finding guests. So that was a huge help. And we had whatever summer that was, it was just a really fun time because we had
Yeah.
a ton of content and I had a lot of help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the process like of interviewing them? Was it like a difficult thing to have to go and like interview people? And was it because I know for me, like I'm trying to hire an intern right now, and like I just get so nervous interviewing them, and then I'm like, oh, what if like I really like them, but like what if like I don't pick them and I feel bad, and it's a whole like thing.
That was my problem. Yeah. So the 4 that I really liked, I was going to just hire 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how can I say no to the other 2? So I was like, we're all just going to do this together. But yeah, it was tough. I don't know. I think you go into it kind of with what you have in mind, and
Mhm.
then you have to ask the person you're interviewing, like, what do you want out of
Yeah.
this, and see who best aligns. But the problem is, if like you really like multiple people, I mean, if they're all fine with it, you could even email them and say like, hey, listen, I'm thinking about hiring a few of you, and if they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I wanted to do all the work myself, then maybe it's not the fit for them. But a lot of times they have another internship,
Yeah.
like a paid one and a non-paid or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. I think I got like 30 people that responded
Mhm.
to the Indeed, but then you go on and you look at the resumes and you're like, does this fit? Are they
Yeah.
the right age? Are they even remotely close to what I'm looking for? And then
Mhm.
I kind of weeded out, let's say 20 of them of like
Mhm.
this person probably just applies to everything on Indeed. Like they're into construction and they're applying for a podcast or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
their major is in like I don't know, I'm trying to think of something crazy, like business management, and then they wanna be like a communications intern. So, like,
Yeah.
if it didn't fit, it was an easy, like, okay, move, 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 and then the people that were left, uh, that's when I was like, "Okay, there's like 8 of you, let me interview the 8 of you."
Mhm.
Then the 4 that I really liked, I was like, "I'm just gonna offer it to all of them."
Yeah. And you have an intern now. What
Yes.
does she do? Like, what's her role with you right now?
Yes, so her name's Valerie, and she does a lot of our social content, in terms of reels. I am
Mhm.
terrible at making reels, I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
But I wish I, like, grew up 5 years ago, like, I was 5 years younger because I feel like people that are, like, 21 are just, like, fantastic at making
Mhm.
Instagram reels and doing all that stuff, but, yeah, it's a little slower for me, so, yeah, she makes our reels, she does a lot of, like, behind the scenes content
Mhm.
of our photo shoots, and then she finds a lot of events for
Mhm.
us, and, she comes up with story ideas, things like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, just like the fun little things that we need help with, she's always there for, and being an extra hand at photo shoots, things like that.
Yeah. Can you walk me through what it's like planning a month's magazine?
Yes. So every single month there's a new theme. So in May our theme is women's.
Mhm.
In June our theme is men's.
Mhm.
So every month there's about 3 to 4 articles.
Okay.
We do about 2 articles on partners, so those are our advertisers, and then
Mhm.
1 to 2 organic stories about people in town, who are doing great things, interesting residents, things like that. So yeah, that's kinda how that works. We have to find those story
Yeah.
ideas, and then you have to find the angles. So
Okay.
for instance, you have this podcast, you're my partner, we wanna try to highlight you in a fun way, but we don't
Mhm.
wanna be like, "Madison started the Jersey Girl podcast in 2023. She's had" like,
Mhm.
people don't wanna read a biography on someone, they wanna read an interesting angle. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you went to school for interior design and you
Mhm.
hated it, and now you're like you had a conversation with your friend and they were like, "We should have recorded this. This is fantastic." And then you picked up a microphone and now you have 50,000 people listening to your
Yeah.
podcast every month and you quit your day job and whatever the case is.
Mhm.
Like, we want to take an angle like that. We always look for like fun, interesting angles.
Yeah.
If there isn't one, we try our best to find one, but those angles are tough because, you want to find it and sometimes you really have to like think,
Yeah.
take this story back and be like, okay, he mentioned this, but he only talked about it for 20 seconds. Maybe we need to call him back and get more on that so we can kind
Mhm.
of weed that into the story. So yeah, the stories are huge.
Mhm.
The ads, every single month, I make sure my partners love their ads.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure that they're beautiful, they're aesthetically pleasing, but they're also going to bring them business.
Mhm.
So whether it's, they contacted me and they're like, hey, I want to spruce this up. I want a call to action so I can kind of trace
Yeah.
so like sometimes people will say 10% off if you mention Denville City Lifestyle. So you're giving people an incentive to pick up the phone and mention
Yeah.
it. But we do a lot about, revolving around brand awareness. And a lot of
Okay.
that is not traceable.
Mhm.
So for instance, you're in the magazine. We also do networking events. We do social media posts. Um, we do the stories in there. We have a digital presence. So a lot of times, if you're going to hire a lawyer, for instance, let's say, God forbid, you fall, you break your leg
Mhm.
on a construction site, you're like, I want to sue. You're thinking top of mind, who do I know? Do I have any lawyers in
Yeah.
mind? You're probably going to go to your friend for a referral, but before maybe even that, in the heat of the moment, you go on Google, you type in the first name you can think of. Let's say that lawyer is in our magazine. You're not going to say in the heat of that moment, hey, I saw you in the Denville City Lifestyle
Yeah.
magazine. I'm trying to sue someone. You're trying to get through the gatekeeper to get to that
Yeah.
lawyer to plead your case so that they meet with you and you can go forward. So a lot of times, you see something, you go on Google or whatever, you type
Mhm.
it in. For instance, you see a spa somewhere, social media,
Yeah.
magazine. You're like, oh, it's like a trending, like scalp
Mhm.
massage, whatever it is. You're gonna put it on Google,
Yeah.
and then you'll leave that tab open for maybe 2 weeks, and then you have a free day, maybe on the weekend. You're gonna pick up the phone and be like, how much is it to come in for a massage?
Mhm.
The odds of you remembering why that tab is open or telling them where you
Mhm.
first saw it, it's slim. So I like working with people who understand brand awareness and are just
Mhm.
trying to build up a local brand. If
Yeah.
someone sees you all over the place, social media, you're in the flyer in town, you're in our
Mhm.
magazine, they know you. Like, you're building a brand. They're
Mhm.
aware of who you are. They're not going to say like, "Oh, who's that? I've never heard of them." That's what we do. So, just helping people build brand awareness, social media posts, lining those up for the
Mhm.
month. The cover, we do a photo shoot every single month for our
Mhm.
cover. So, gotta make sure that's nice. So we
Mhm.
have this one, which was our April issue. We took this outside of the fire department, and it was
Wow.
super windy because we did this in February. So all the money was flying. We were
Yeah.
chasing it, and we just wanted to make sure it looked aesthetically pleasing. So
Well, they look like they're like not a stock image, but they look like a nice texture.
yeah,
Like,
people were like, "There's
yeah.
no way you guys took this." Excuse me, and we did.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure everything is super aesthetically pleasing. The cover shoot's very important to me, making sure it looks beautiful. The stories are all in
Mhm.
place. Everyone's happy with their ads, things like that. So it is a lot. And then you have to pick layouts.
Mhm.
So what is the layout for the story? Like, we did a story on this podcast. Like, where is the photo going to go of
Yeah.
you compared to the photo of maybe like you and me filming this?
Mhm.
And then maybe a picture of you and your family at the Jersey Shore to
Mhm.
kind of tie back into Jersey. Like,
Mhm.
okay, we have 6 good photos. What's the layout gonna be with
Mhm.
the text?
Yeah.
So I mess around with a ton of different layouts, making sure it's as pretty as possible and that it also like flows well
Mhm.
and makes sense. Like, you may put 3 photos together and be like, does this look right? And then I'm sitting there for 45 minutes moving the photo on the bottom left to the top right. And I'm like, does that look better? So I'm crazy. I want to make sure it's
Mhm.
aesthetically perfect. So that's kind of what it is every month. Hours and hours going into it so people enjoy reading it.
Do you have like a good work life balance? You would say is it something you're working on? Because when you own your own business, it's like you're on the clock 24/7, no matter what day it is, what time it is. Do you find that you have good boundaries with it, or is it kind of something you're still working on?
So I really love it. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my problem is like I love what I do and I think that
Mhm.
everyone should. But a lot of times if it's like 7:30 and I'm like, I could watch a show or I could jump on and start messing with the next issue, I'm
Yeah.
gonna mess with the next issue. Which I don't think is a problem, but I do answer the phone at all hours. Like, someone will call me at
Mhm.
9 o'clock and be like, I know the deadline is in 3 hours for this ad, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I need your help. And a lot of other people would be like, I'm not on the clock. My hours are 9 to 5. Like, you should
Mhm.
have contacted me in those hours. That's not me. So
Yeah.
I will pick it up if I'm like at dinner and a client calls and they're like dealing with something or they're like, I'm locked out of the website.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna help them.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I'm good with the balance. I
Mhm.
definitely think sometimes like people would be like, "You're crazy. Like,
Yeah.
why would you answer the phone? Or why are you texting them back? It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night." But I've been in those situations before where you wait till the last minute, you come back from a trip, you're like, I was not thinking about this.
Mhm.
And now you're like, you're paying for it. And I want to make sure if people are paying for my service, which they all are, they're getting what
Yeah.
the money they're putting into
Mhm.
it. And if that means that I'm answering the phone at 11 p.m. because you waited till the last second, so be it. Please don't do that to me every month. But if it's going to happen once every few months or once a year, I don't mind. So yeah, the balance I think is good. I do a
Yeah.
lot still. I travel.
Mhm.
I take the weekends off. So like I don't work ever. I don't open my laptop to do anything with this on Saturday and Sunday
That's good.
unless there's like a deadline that I'm
Yeah.
like chasing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I Saturday and Sunday are off. Fridays, I kind of try to do a half day. I make my own schedule sometimes
Mhm.
though. Like if I'm like it's a Wednesday and I want to go with my friend to the outlets or like, go to the beach, I'm going to
Yeah.
go. And I love that. You can make your own schedule with this. So, yeah, I take a lot of time for myself too because it balances out. I take
Yeah.
off on a Wednesday, then the next day I'm working until 10 p.m. I'm
Mhm.
fine doing that. So I was like, yesterday I was doing whatever I wanted. So, yeah, I think I'm good with that.
How far in advance do you work?
Yeah, so we just finished the June issue and it's not
Okay.
even May.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's about a month and 10 days before that issue comes out
Okay.
that it's done. And people are always like, "Can I add something?" No, like it goes off the print. Let's say we're talking June, it goes off to print like beginning of May.
Okay.
So it's already printed and then it starts getting distributed into the mailboxes about like May 20th. So it's
Okay.
about 10 days before June starts. So I get a
Mhm.
lot of people sometimes reaching out to me at the end of the month. Like I just had someone email me and they're like, "Is it too late to be in the May issue?" The May issue has already been in mailboxes for a week
Yeah.
or like starting to be in mailboxes for almost a week now. So yeah, people don't realize, but it takes a long time to print this thing
Mhm.
and then get it distributed.
Mhm.
So yeah, we work over a month in advance.
Wow. But it's
Yeah.
probably good because then you the peace of mind. It's like that. Then I can
It's
start
done.
working on
Yeah.
the next one.
It's like we're already thinking about July and
Yeah.
August, and it's April. So it's tough sometimes, especially with the photo shoots, because, you might be doing a photo shoot for May and it's still, there's no leaves on the trees. So going forward now, we're going to do our photo shoots like fall in advance because when it gets to be winter and everything looks terrible, because it's Jersey, if
Yeah.
we lived in California, it wouldn't be a problem. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go to the beach and do a fun photo shoot. With this, it's like, we need to think in advance because
Mhm.
sometimes our partners have really pretty setups outside. And now, it's November. And I'm like, do you have any photos? And they're like, no, can you take them? Well, we can, but you no longer are working outside.
Mhm.
So it's like, how do we recreate that? So sometimes you have to think very far in
Mhm.
advance.
Do you have some clients that you just like really love working with?
Yeah, all of them. But I
Yeah.
definitely have like people that talk to me more
Yeah.
than others, and I most of my clients I consider to be friends.
Mhm.
So a lot of times I'll go into their business, we'll talk, I'll ask them, they tell me about
Mhm.
their vacations. Some people are more hands off, and that's totally fine. There's just people that are like this is on the back burner for them, and they love being a part of it and doing it, but they're
Mhm.
super busy, and I, appreciate them and respect them just as
Yeah.
much. But there's other people that are like, "Hey, come hang out with me," and, like, those are the people that I really look forward to, working with because it's not only building a professional
Mhm.
relationship, but friendship too.
Yeah.
So I really love working with everyone, but especially, like, the people that have become friends or that text me and they're like, "I just saw you posted that you went to the sandwich shop, like, how was it?"
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like, I would never ask someone, like I know you do marketing, here and there for
Mhm.
businesses, and like you might find it weird if you post something on your personal Instagram and one of your clients was like, "Hey, like, where'd you go this weekend?" Like,
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, okay," like it's a little strange. But
Mhm.
with me, it's like I want to be friends with all of my partners,
Yeah.
and some of those friendships are, just naturally developed, and we're just
Yeah.
talking, like, I could sit with them and talk for hours.
That's the fun thing about doing a business, especially like the podcast like this, is I like have best friends. People I've interviewed on the podcast, or I go out to lunch with them once a month and just like keep that business connection or just keep a friendship connection.
Yeah.
And it's fun because like you just never would have met them otherwise, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the same thing here, like, there's some people that I was like, "Oh my god, I would have never spoken to you about your business had I not started this," and I would have never, sat down with you at your
Yeah.
business and talked to you, because I would just be like, "Oh, I'm bothering them," or, like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to just step in and be like, "How's your day going?"
Yeah.
But now it's good because people are like, "Oh, I just went on this trip," and, like, "I'm so sorry I missed the ad deadline," and I'm like, "You're fine, like, how was your trip?" And then
Yeah.
we end up hopping on a phone call to talk about the ad, and 45 minutes are about the
Mm.
trip they just went on. So it's things like that that are nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If people wanted to be in the magazine or get in contact with you, where can they find you?
Yes, so they can email me. So my email is super long, but it's on the Denville City Lifestyle website. It's alessandra.quineri@citylifestyle.com. They can also, my phone number is everywhere. I can't do anything about that. So my
Mhm.
number is 973-294-2539. So if you're ever interested, just give me a ring. If it says spam, I won't pick it up, but then leave me a voicemail and I'll definitely call you back. It's funny, a lot of businesses do come up as spam. And I think it's because they have a lot of extensions and they just get
Yeah.
flagged. And I feel terrible because I miss calls. And I just think it's somebody trying to sell me like insurance or whatever it is. And I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, they can do that. They could reach out on social media, Denville
Mhm.
City Lifestyle on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook message, anything that works for them. I'm
Mhm.
everywhere. You could send a ticket even through City Lifestyle, the website. So anything that works, we'll answer and we'll get back to you.
Thank you again for coming on and explaining everything. I had a
Of
lot of fun
course.
talking,
Yes,
and
same here.
even like the issues are so pretty. So
Thank
everyone
you.
go and subscribe and get an issue for May and June.
Yes, and I should say lastly, you can pick up issues at Denville Library, Town Hall, ton of local
Mhm.
businesses, Acme in Denville. Ask the businesses that are in here for copies, pick them up, follow us on social media because we
Mhm.
do share where we drop them off. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.